הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Won't you join together in this song, helping one another to be strong, seeing that the sun shines a little brighter, helping all the world seem a little lighter when we join as one. הנה מה טוב, 1, 2, 3, 4. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Won't you join together in this song, helping one another to be strong, seeing that the sun shines a little brighter, helping all the world seem a little lighter when we join as one.
Well, as we join together, it's always nice to know the people who we are davening with, who we're joining with for our Shabbat service this Friday night. So find someone you're not sitting near. Go get out of your seat, go find and introduce yourself. Wish them a good Shabbos. What? Yes. And so it is a prayer book service. We'll turn to our prayer books in a moment, but let us now join with Aaron and with Michelle Mintz as she leads us in the lighting of our Shabbos candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
As our community grows, so we join the sweetness of coming together as we join with Aaron in our Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav. Sorry. Borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואתנו קדשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen.
Before we begin our prayers and our service and welcoming of Shabbat, if you give me the liberty to open our services with a little sermon, a little thought, a little drach, some reflections on Pesach and what this might mean for us today. Because we've enjoyed Seders, we've enjoyed our Pesach food, we've enacted the rituals of the holiday in these past 2 days. And it's all about the theme, idea of freedom, of celebrating our freedom. And I was listening to a podcast, Haviv Redig Gor's podcast, Ask Haviv Anything, before Pesach. And my friend Dan Nichols shared with me some insight that made me go into it a little deeper, that I thought was so fascinating. Because he was interviewing, the meeting of Pesach, interviewing a rabbi, Rav Stav is his name, Orthodox rabbi in Israel who's a little more progressively minded. And that rabbi was doing some teaching in Netanya, which is just, above Tel Aviv, which has been enduring missile attacks daily in Israel. Fortunately, the 95% don't get through, but people still go into shelters. And a gentleman raised his hand in the midst of the conversation and teaching and said, if we're celebrating freedom, what kind of freedom is it if in the middle of our Seders, in the middle of our prayers, in the middle of whatever we're doing, we are interrupted to go into our shelters every day, every night? What kind of freedom is that? And I think about that a lot because I talk to a lot of my friends, my son in Israel. I know he hasn't slept through the night since February 28th, living in Herzliya, just above Tel Aviv. Ironically, the family he was with for Pesach made a comment to me, texted me yesterday and said, Asher had a really good night's sleep last night because he was at their place in Hadera near Al Yachin, a little farther north with no missile attacks. In their area, a little quieter, and so he slept through the night. What kind of freedom is that? And Rav Stav said, the freedom is because we live in a world where people have built shelters, have built safe places to go to protect us from missiles, have built an Iron Dome or David Sling or Arrow, have an IDF, have a homeland, have a people where we're able to protect ourselves. Where today, here in West Bloomfield, we have a police department that is constantly watching out for us, where we can get barriers to put around our synagogue to make us a little more secure. And why we might feel, why do we have to have these? What kind of world do we live in where we have to think of these things? It's still freedom, because we're able to do this. And we think of Jews for thousands of years over time, and this rabbi said, actually, probably not since King Solomon have the Jewish people lived in the land of Israel and been this secure, this strong, this great. And he said, don't confuse freedom with convenience. Right? It's inconvenient to walk around these barriers. It's inconvenient to be woken up in the middle of the night and to go to a shelter. It's inconvenient at times to be a Jew, but it doesn't mean we're not free. Our freedom is what we internalize and understand in our lives and how we take care of ourselves. Our freedom gives us the liberty to call up our Congress people and say, hey, we're concerned. Can you please pass this bill that brings more dollars to protect the Jewish people, or any minority for that matter? There was an essay in the Wall Street Journal. Every Saturday, the Wall Street Journal does an opinion essay about a topic of the day, and the opinion last Saturday was, are we safe anywhere? And the we was the Jewish people. And they ended the story with, it was a skit on Israeli television, the SNL, the Saturday Night Live of Israeli TV. And in that skit, there are two young people, probably in their mid to late 20s, and they bump into each other at Ben Gurion Airport. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you'd be here too. And they're both talking as if they're thinking the same thing. Both saying, yeah, it's not safe. And one is saying, yeah, America's not safe. That's why I'm coming to Israel. And the Israeli is saying, yeah, Israel's not safe. That's why I'm going to America. And so the essay said, where are we as Jews safe? And I use that essay as a conversation at my Passover Seder because I think it's relevant for what the Seder tells us. In every generation, there'll come someone who rises up against us to try to take our faith, our Judaism, our peoplehood away. And we're prepared for that. And then we balance that with the reality of keep your door open to welcome the needy, the stranger, those in need. Right? As Rabbi Hillel taught, if I am only for myself, what am I? Right? But if not now, when? What we have to do. Right? And what we have to understand and how we live our lives. So we balance all of this. We put this all together to know, yes, we're free. And are we safe? We make sure we're safe. We take precautions to be safe. And again, I look at our government that recognizes that. And yeah, there are some bad people in our government, and people who are anti-Semites, and people who are broadcasting on networks who say things that are egregious and blood libels and horrible. But the majority out there understand our concerns and support that. And so we are free because we have the ability to care for ourselves and care for our community. And our showing up, as intimate as we are, the 17 of us tonight, 19 now? I'm going to say it. Shows that we care. And I know, I'm still full actually. All I had was a bowl of soup before services. I was like, I don't have room for food today after Seders. And isn't it remarkable, by the way, that we have so much dessert at a Passover Seder, but we're so full by that part. That's why I think the best meal is the morning after Seder, and you start with dessert, with the coffee. That's what I personally recommend. Sidebar, sorry. That's freedom to be able to do these things. So, it's not always convenient being a Jew, but what makes us special is how we hold on to that and remind ourselves every day of how we live our lives. I was watching two young men, one was 10, one was 15, sitting at my table last night for Passover Seder, and they're both wearing big Jewish stars, almost like they were rappers or something, but like proudly and authentically and like knowing who they are. The little boy said, he goes, when's fourth grade honor Shabbat? When do I get to go be on the bima? Like, understanding this is a responsibility. I think that's sort of cool. So that's what freedom means to me. I started service with that for you to think about that for a moment. So maybe in our prayers, we have a prayer book we use, yes. And we'll go through our prayer book. They're a guide for us. But I also think our thoughts and these ideas, I want you to think about, one, what makes you free, and two, what gives you gratitude in the midst of that freedom. And I'll tell you one thing for me is honoring Shabbat, is being able to come here and celebrate Shabbat, to sing a prayer of our tradition like that says, L'cha dodi, come my beloved, come into my presence. That the traditional view, the Jewish people are the groom, Shabbat is the bride. And God has brought us together. That's our freedom, that's our gift, that's our privilege to have that. So let's welcome that together. Let's bring Shabbat into our community as we sing now with Aaron the prayers of L'cha dodi.
L'cha dodi, l'chrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. L'cha dodi, l'chrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha, ishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shmor echad l'shem u'letiferet v'letihila l'cha dodi l'krat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela l'cha dodi l'krat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela l'krat Shabbat לכוון אלך, כי מכל הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Tradition is we rise together as we face the way we walked in for the last verses of L'chadosi. We say, Boi kala, come bride into our presence.
בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
We return together.
לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We turn our prayer books to page 20. Now that we've come here together, we become a community for our call to worship our Baruch Hu.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
We read together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteh she'arim, u'vitvuna meshane itim, u'mechalif et hazmanim, sader et kochavim b'mishmerotea b'rakia kirtzono. Praised are you, our God, ruler of the world, who brings about the evening star. Your wisdom makes the dawn appear. You differentiate times and seasons of our lives. The stars follow their courses as a sign of a divine creative force in the universe. Borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom mevi layla. Uma'avdil ben yom v'en layla Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam. Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. You have created the day and night. Even though you cause the day to disappear and you bring on the night, you've developed a separation and distinction one from the other. We call you ruler of the universe, but you are our living God. May you create understanding among us so we might never take nature for granted. Praised are you, our Creator, who causes night to fall, as we recite the watchword of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel,
The Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
Ve'afta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha B'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha bevetecha, uvlechtecha baderech, uv'shokbecha, uv'kumecha, u'kshartam leot, al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot, bein einecha, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
And together, you shall love the eternal your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God. These eternal words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart. In all times and places our God has been a part of our lives. Our faith has been our rock and our help. We witnessed God's wonders when we went free from Egypt. When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it. May those who have the faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind. O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now, as our people have praised you throughout history.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לה לה יאי לה לה יאי לה 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 יאי לה 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 יאי לה 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 יאי לה 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 יאי לה לה יאי לה לה יאי לה 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 יאי לה לה יאי לה. נורא תהילו אוסף אלה, נורא תהילו אוסף אלה, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
We turn our prayer books to page 25 as we rise together, if we're able, for the Amidah and our central prayers of worship. We take a moment, of course, of silent meditation, either following the prayers in our prayer books or those our hearts may prompt.
Yehu lerason imrefi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri Begoali Yehu lerason Imrefi Vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri Adonai Tzuri Begoali Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi yagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Ha'akol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei bneihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechakel chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You are holy, and your name is holy. We sing your praises every day. Praised are you, the holy God. Please be seated. Let us lie down in peace, God, and permit us to wake up in the security of knowing we are safe and loved. Be a shield around us, keep enemies, disease, violence, homelessness, and hunger far away from those we love. Keep us safe in the shadow of your wings, for you are a protector. You show compassion and mercy when you permit us the experience of seeing the shelter of your peace. Give to your people Israel and the world a time of peace.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, להעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, להעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, להעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, להעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, להעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, להעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
As Israel has preserved the Sabbath, so the Sabbath has preserved Israel. It's an everlasting covenant between God and the children of Israel, a reminder of creation. For in 6 days God created the heavens and the earth. The seventh day God sanctified all life with rest.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ושמרו לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. V'shameru la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam. V'rit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael od hi le'olam. Ki sheshet yamin asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat v'shameru la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam v'rit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat v'shameru la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam v'rit olam, v'rit olam.
Let us read together our prayers of peace on page 29. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country, that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands. May the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata u'melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim le'olam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
As we prepare for additional prayers in our service, our prayers of Mishaberach, so we think first of the healing of our people, the people of Israel. Our prayers turn to the people of Israel, the land of Israel, our home, as well as our own country, our own soldiers. Eloheinu v'Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, we open our hearts to you in this time of uncertainty and worry. Watch over the state of Israel and all who live within her borders. Wrap her in the shelter of your peace. Give her leaders wisdom and courage and the strength to do what is right. Guard her soldiers and defenders, all who protect our people, and bring them home safely in body and in spirit to those who love them. And bless our home, the United States of America. Guide our leaders and give them wisdom and humility in the decisions they make and the work they do. May they stand for justice, protect our freedom, and act with goodness and strength. Watch over the soldiers of our armed forces, shield them from harm, give them discipline and compassion. May they serve with honor and come home safely to those who love them. We also pray for the innocent people of Iran, for mothers and fathers, for children and grandparents, for all who long for freedom, dignity, and a life without fear. Protect them from violence and cruelty. May a day come quickly when the powerful can no longer oppress, and the peace is finally free to grow. Our God and God of our ancestors, plant in every land the seeds of kindness, of justice, and of truth. May we soon see a vision the prophets dreamed of, that nation shall not lift up sword against nation, nor shall they learn war anymore. And together let us say, Amen. On page 38, we turn to our prayers of Mishaberach, thinking of family, of friends, of those in our own community. As we gain strength in being a community, walking around with the Torah, reaching out, touching it, mentioning the names out loud of those we think of. Please rise.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mikol HaBracha Le'imoteinu. May the source of strength, who has blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Shberach Avatenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Yisra Rivka Leah v'Rachel. Who Yivarech et Ocholim, merciful God, who has blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Becca, Leah, and Rachel. Send our blessings to loved ones stricken with illness, family, and friends who we think of at this time: Anna Alpert, Rory Barner, Aidan Binder, Riley Braun, Martin Bordelais, Chris Burke, Amanda Kaplan, Dr. Donna Caniano, Karen Kasman, Patty Seresny, Andrew Chernak, David Decker, Ann Gotro, Richard Gotro, Barry Grant, Brandon Gordon, Batya Batpesha Penina, Arya Leb and Yechiel Vasilva, Ava Haber-Kornholm, Gidon Ben Avraham, Alexis Johnson Walzer, Mike Kahn, Jimmy Kelly, Mark Kopel, Leon Klein, Isaiah Klein, Karen Klein, Serafina Coffrin, Gert Levin, Alan Lieberman, Zev Lorber, Zoe Marcus, Justin Milberger, Steve Passer, Carolyn Peterson, Donna Reef, Marcy Fisher-Reiners, Leslie Riggs, Michael Robbins, Rob Shaya, Yocheved Chana Bat Shoshana Gula, the St. Amman family, Frank Shimones, Michael Schulman, Gary Zakora, Toby Stein, Eliza Bat Rivka, Joe Tarlos, Len Turman, Laura Tildes, Dolores Weinstein, and all the names in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai Raphael Chalim. Bless you, God, give strength to those in need.
Mishaberach Imoteinu Mikor HaBracha Le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Continue with our prayers of adoration and conclusion on page 41 of our prayer books.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצאת ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
And on page 43, O God, who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, give comfort to those who mourn. Give them courage and strength, compassion and kindness. Restore to them a sense of life's goodness. Give them the ability to accept the mystery of life and let them soon know peace. Help them endure that which no one can understand. And let us say, Amen. Standing together, we think of those who taken from our midst in this past month, whose Shoshim we mark, friends and family of our community. Melvin Herner, Zita Weber, Carol Zumberg, Lois Lowenstein, Alla Konikov, Matthew Medberry. And linking their names to names whose yortzites we mark on the Shabbat, those anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Marcia Albach, Ethel Oslander, Marvin Barkin, Alvin Barnett, Barbara Bernstein, Idell Binder, Nina Block, Morris Chadwick, Elizabeth Clemage, Arlene Cummins, Robert Cutler, Francis Davis, Robert Eastman, Sophie Eisenberg, Harry Eisenstein, Gloria Ellis, Ethel Elson, Kenneth Eskovitz, Victor Finn, Harold Firestone, Ruth Frank, Ola Freeman, Albert Fruman, Ruth Garber, Rose Glazer, Perry Gold, Herbert Goldberg, Morris Goldberg, June Gerwin, Helen Harris, Evelyn Horn, Samuel Kaplan, Irene Cash, Dorothy Kasmer, Samuel Kopel, Mikulis Kuzdak, Lori Leader, Harry Levinson, Kenneth Lewis, Alan Lippett, Irving Mannheimer, Anthony Meisner, Carol Metzger, Ruth Miller, Sadie Miller, Irma Mogul, Robert Moskowitz, Marjorie Pensian, Shirley Pollack, Al Rowan, Jerry Rosen, Marilyn Rosner, Stella Rubenstein, Eddie Reich, Sander Schiff, Ann Schwartz, Marvin Silverman, Betty Shore Singer, Arnold Slutsky, Edith Snyder, Marshall Stillman, Judith Erden, Ruth Volker, Dora Weiss Stein, Bernice Wolf, Eleanor Yanitz, Fred Zeidman. Linking their names to all the names we do not recite on the Shabbat, those of every faith and family whose lives have touched ours, so do we join together in the immortal words of the Mornis Kaddish as found on page 46 in our prayer books. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divra chirotei v'yalmich malchutei, b'chayachon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, b'agala u'bizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabbam avarach olam amaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'nadar v'nalal shemed kudesha baruchu. Le'ala min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Ta'maram b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. The source of peace, and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. And together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la la, ya la ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la la, ya la la ya la la ya la la. Oseh shalom bimroma, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru. Amen. V'imru.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Happy Pesach, Chag Sameach as well. We enjoy this week. Our Yizkor services for the end of Passover, on the 7th day of Passover, is Wednesday morning at 10:30. We read the names of all those who have died from last year Passover to this year Passover. And we're welcoming our friends from Temple Israel to come join us for Yizkor, and my colleagues as well, to share in services with us that morning. And so it's midweek. It's always a smaller Yizkor in doing that, but easy for us to be together and sharing that. So it'll still be our Yizkor service, but they'll be a part of that too, which is nice. And then next Friday night, after Pesach is over, it's a 6:30 Kaya service, followed by our bagels, brews, and bites oneg. Baseball, bites, and brews. Beer, baseball, I don't know, let's go Cardinals. So, yeah, right? I know, actually, I actually think don't tell my parents, I think I wanted the Tigers to win today, and because I feel like I have more invested in the Tigers now. I grew up being a Cardinals fan, and I've always, and when they were in the World Series against the Tigers, I went to St. Louis. That was important. I wanted the Cardinals to win. But right now, I feel like we need this, and it feels good to cheer. So I'm okay with the Tigers winning today. I want you to know that, right? I'm excited for the Pistons. I think it's ridiculous that you have to be played 65 games to be considered for Player of the Year in the NBA. It's ridiculous that Cunningham, with his collapsed lung, won't have enough games, even though he's the best player out there right now. He's amazing. Exciting to see that. There's no basketball tomorrow night worth watching, so don't worry about that anyway. All of it's irrelevant. I know you feel the same, Eric. So good things on the horizon, other fun things to share. A moment of Tish before we have a little Pesach oneg out there with some matzah toffee and macaroons and Pesach brownies from Cutting Edge Cuisine from our caterer. Any Tish questions? Yes. Number 18, 19 and 20 over there. Yes. Let's, Sandy, yeah. Yes, we do. Why do we light candles on Pesach? We light candles to begin every holiday. Think about it. Erev Rosh Hashanah, we light candles. The first night of Pesach, we light candles. First night of Sukkot. All of our holidays, candles are a part of them as well. So it's a way to, literally we say bring light to the world, but it's the idea that consecrate that. Now, it's different than Shabbat. And the reason for 2 candles on Shabbat is the holiday of Shabbat is the only holiday mentioned in the 10 Commandments. But all of our holidays become a time of rest, a Sabbath. So that's why a traditional Jew wouldn't have worked on from Wednesday sundown to Thursday sundown. And actually, I was thinking about this actually because the traditional community does their first 2 days of Pesach, our holy days, no work days, and then they go right into Shabbat. But how would you cook for Shabbat if you couldn't have cooked today on the second day of Pesach either? So you have, can your cholent boil for that long or stew for that long? I mean, I'm still eating leftovers from Pesach, so I guess that's okay, but nonetheless. Do you have an answer for my question? An Orthodox shul. This afternoon when they say Pesach is suspended for a moment so we can get ready for Shabbos? Okay. Learn something new. I've always wondered that, and now, thanks to Linda, I have the information. Yes! Because why does Elijah herald the coming of the Messiah? Because Elijah is the only prophet that does not die. He ascends to heaven in a fiery chariot. Now, I don't know, if you're riding a fiery chariot, you'll probably be toast. But nonetheless, we don't know of his death, and that's why he continues to reappear in our tradition, testing us in our lives. And so Elijah is to announce the Messiah is on his way, in a sense. And so we are to be tested. So sometimes Elijah is disguised as a beggar. And depending on how we treat that beggar is whether we're ready to receive the Messiah and other things. And there's great, Hasidic tales about Elijah doing things like that too throughout our tradition. So a funny story, maybe, or it might be my fault that the Messiah is not here. When I lived in Jerusalem in 1990-91, a little older woman who was begging, as I was walking down the street in Jerusalem, came up to me asking for money, and I just kept walking. And then she started screaming at me. And she kept asking, and then she started screaming, and she said, I am Eliyahu Hanavi, I am Elijah the prophet. It's your fault the Messiah is not coming. You've ruined it for all Judaism and humanity. I felt like crap, actually. I thought, for a moment, you're like, oh, I ruined the test for us all. It's my fault. I thought it was a great line on her part, though. Really, I was like, yeah. But it was a really awkward moment. Because you can't, then go back and say, oh, wait, I meant to give you something? Because then, I'm like a weasel. It's so rough. I know. But that's why Elijah's also part of Passover for a few different reasons. When the rabbis couldn't decide on something and they had a draw in their debate, they said, well, then we will hearken when the Messiah comes, we'll get the answer, right? So the real question is, how many cups of wine do we have on Passover? Well, there's a debate. We should have 5, actually, because there's 4 cups of wine because there's 4 verses of Torah of what God does for us. God leads us out of Egypt, rescues us with outstretched arm and a mighty hand, will care for us in the wilderness and bring us to the promised land. So outstretched arm, mighty hand are 2, or is it 1? And so some rabbis said it was 4 cups of wine or 4 messages of redemption. Some said 5. And that's why they couldn't decide. We have 4 cups or 5 cups. That's why the 5th cup is there. It's called Elijah's cup. Because when Elijah comes, the Messiah is on his way, we'll get the answer. If we need a 5th cup, it's ready to go. And that's the whole reason why we have Elijah's cup on the table. What we did here at Temple and on my Seder on Wednesday night, we had another cup as well filled with water. Anyone know this tradition? And that was Miriam's cup. And so the idea that Miriam, equally as important as the men in our story of the Torah of Moses and Aaron, that Miriam actually is the one who brings sustenance to the people of Israel, that she brings water. When she dies, there's no water, and that's when Moses cries to God, what am I supposed to do? And he goes, talk to the rock. And so, but it's her death that we realize how much she brought to our people. And so why we have a Kiddush cup filled with water at our Seder table. Every year we bring new traditions. Some of them peter out over time because we've, new innovations. We, at my Seder table and here at Temple, we added coffee beans to our Seder plate to remind us to wake up. And what are we waking up to? To wake up to anti-Semitism. It's the reality in our world today. I think we've sort of been awoken to it in these past few weeks in our own backyard, but that there are a lot of ways that anti-Semitism comes at us. Anti-Israel sentiment, complacency, silence, falsities that are shared. And so we made that a plague in our tradition at our Seder as well and talked about that too. So Passover, there are only 2 laws you have to follow on Passover. Law number 1 is to tell the story. Tell the story. The Haggadah became the vehicle, just like all the foods are the vehicle, to tell the story. But the law of the Torah says you tell the story. And law number 1 is to eat matzah, or to remove leaven from our diet for a week, right? And so the third law is to sacrifice the Paschal lamb, but we don't do that, fortunately, anymore. That's why traditionally Jews would not eat lamb on Passover, because someone might think you've actually sacrificed that lamb. And you were not supposed to do that until the Messiah comes. So we no longer have sacrifice, obviously. And I don't know about you, but I'm not praying for sacrificing of animals anymore, or the rebuilding of the temple for that matter. Well, with that in mind, let's have a little nosh together, a little oneg, as we rise together for our concluding prayer and ask God's blessing upon us all.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Ya'ir Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine upon you and shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
May God always be a part of who we are as a community, as individuals who appreciate the freedoms that we have in our lives. In Judaism, we are blessed to live and to celebrate and to honor. Most of all, may God bless us with shalom, with peace.
Ve'asem lecha shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.